What's up guys and girls, this is a continuation from my previous video, How Strong is Kratos during the Greek era. If you haven't watched that, I highly recommend you do. While researching that video, I came up with the conclusion that Kratos is as strong or as fast as he needs to be. However, in God of War 2018, Kratos is always holding back, and he does this the entire game. In this video, I'm going to first prove to you that he's made a choice to hold back his power. Then I'm going to show you the few moments where he temporarily went full power. Then I'm finally going to show you his most strongest moments throughout the entire game. Let's get right into it, and let's start with proving Kratos is always holding back the entire game despite fighting extremely strong opponents. Let's start with the God of War art book. As it says directly, he's still a highly competent warrior, but he's constantly restraining himself, trying to set his son on a better path. Kratos is always testing himself. Before the events of God of War 2018 in the prequel comics, we see this test for ourselves. As wolves attack him, he doesn't attack back, trying to not give into his anger. At first, he seems to have a good grasp on it until a troll appears and Kratos gives into his rage. Between the art book and God of War 2018's prequel comic, this proves without a doubt Kratos has made a conscious effort to hold back. However, by the time God of War 2018 rolls around, he has a good grasp on controlling and restraining himself, even taking a few hits from Baldur before even reacting, giving Baldur every chance in the world to leave. This version of Kratos has grown from the Greek days. Now having a son to take care of, this made him keep his own anger in check, as well as not using the destructive force we all know that he's capable of. However, there's some exceptions to this rule, that there are a few moments in God of War 2018 where Kratos does actually let loose a little bit and reminds me of the Greek day. Remember what we found out in my last breakdown video. The conclusion is Kratos is as strong or as fast as he needs to be. Some of these moments were shown during Kratos' encounter with Modi and Magni. At first, he was struggling against Magni, but then Modi hit Atreus. Having seen this, 2 seconds later, Kratos completely overpowered Magni and taking him out. Then again, while being held down by lightning, Modi actually managed to restrain Kratos himself, but then after Atreus gets knocked out, Kratos once again sees this, and then he gets up as if the lightning is no longer affecting him. This is extremely similar to the Greek video, where I explained that even though enemies are doing things to Kratos that's supposed to stop him from doing something, Kratos can easily overpower them. I love that the only time we see Kratos become this person that's not affected by anything and really showing off his true strength is the moments when he's helping his son. I personally think that's extremely beautiful. However, let's backtrack a little bit. Even before Kratos came to Midgard, there was the story of the fallen god. In that comic, Kratos fought a massive hippo. At first the hippo flung Kratos, but after he became enraged, he basically summoned the blades of chaos to him and tore apart the beast with little to no issue. Now finally we can talk about the greatest acts of strength in God of War 2018. Remember, during the events of the game, Kratos is constantly holding back, so everything I'm about to say is nowhere near his limits. First, the Light of Alpine. The Light of Alpine is more stronger than you think, and it isn't a normal barrier. Proof of this comes from Freya. She says that the Black Breath was created by Odin to keep people from passing through. This Black Breath was a corruption of magic, and only the Light of Alpine was strong enough to get through it. And in the God of War novel, Kratos himself says he couldn't think of anything he's encountered in the past that was more potent than the Black Breath. However, if you think about it, if Kratos can force himself into the Light of Alpine, and the Light of Alpine is the only thing that's strong enough to get through the Black Breath, as Freya says, then in reality, Kratos can actually get through the Black Breath. He just didn't, maybe because Atreus was there, and Atreus also needed to find a way through. But in theory, Kratos can survive and actually get through a barrier that even Odin created. If you want to know how powerful Odin is, you can check out that video. There'll be a link at the end of this video, and I highly recommend you watch it because this is the stuff he's gonna do in God of War Ragnarok, and it's actually incredible. Next we have the temple flip. This alone is actually downright incredible. Probably the biggest thing Kratos has ever moved throughout any of the games. And not only did he lift it, he had the force to push it upwards hard enough to flip it. Kratos can literally launch any enemy into orbit that he wants. I know we'll never see this, and I know it's just like gameplay stuff, but in reality, if he can flip this damn temple, this means he could flip any Draugr into damn space, which, holy crap. Which brings me to my next point, Kratos pushing Tyr's bridge, which Cory Barlog said weighed 1,774,000 tons approximately, or 2 times the Golden Gate Bridge. I mean, anyways, let's move on to his speed. Remember we talked about his speed? He's as fast as he needs to be, and the Valkyries, explained by Mimir, said that they can go to any conflict that happens.
Mimir, who is she?
Gunnar, Mistress of War. After any conflict, big or small, she would be first on the scene, sussing out the worthy spirits for a free trip to Valhalla. A gruesome task, but she took great pride in it.
Any conflict? Impossible.
It's true. She had help from her sisters, of course, but Gunnar was always first to arrive. Her judgment of the fallen was unparalleled, and an invaluable resource to Odin. She was one of his favorites.
Any conflict. Even Kratos said that this was impossible, so these enemies are extremely quick. However, we still beat them. Now this next one is pretty cool. Like I said, Kratos was holding back the entire game, so in the first Baldur fight, this was also the case. When they clashed, they were holding hands and they were locked. There was a moment when both of them pushed together at the same time, and then if you look in the background, the entire area is being destroyed. Some of them locking hands with one another, and this caused the whole area to change, which is actually incredible. Kratos is as strong as he needs to be. I'm sorry to keep repeating it, but you have to understand the importance of it. Now there are so many more examples I can keep going through, and I can honestly do this forever, but that's all I'm going to say. Kratos is saying that he's impressive is an understatement at this point. However, I highly recommend you also watch my Thor breakdown video, because the next video is going to be Kratos and Thor, me comparing their strength. Since I just analyzed the crap out of both of them, Thor can literally bend reality, and Kratos, there is no limit. So who the hell is gonna win? Make sure to catch that video when I put it out. I'm gonna be out of here. Thank you guys and girls for listening. Deuces.